the heat of June 1940, as France faced the ferocity of the Nazi invasion, a series of grim events started to unfold in the Lyon region. Among the most harrowing were the massacres of African colonial soldiers serving in the French army, particularly those from Senegal. Recent discoveries, including unpublished photographs, have shed light on these atrocities, providing a somber glimpse into this tragic chapter of history. A chilling photograph captures the fear etched on the faces of the Senegalese riflemen, moments before they were led to their deaths by German soldiers. This image, one of 8 newly discovered, depicts the Chasselay Massacre, where 40 African soldiers were executed by machine gun fire from strategically positioned German tanks. The historian who brought these images to public attention explains that these photographs reveal a calculated and emotionless execution by the Nazis. This massacre wasn't an isolated incident. Starting in late May 1940, similar atrocities occurred in the Somme region. Despite the absence of explicit orders from the Nazi high command to kill or mistreat colonial prisoners of war, the German military hierarchy turned a blind eye to the spontaneous brutalities committed by its soldiers. The roots of this hatred towards African soldiers can be traced back to World War I. The Germans had accused the Allies of employing African troops to commit atrocities on the battlefield. In retaliation, German propaganda demonized African soldiers, branding them as savage and dangerous. This propaganda intensified after the Treaty of Versailles, which saw the occupation of the Ruhr and Rhineland by French troops, including many from African colonies. A vile campaign emerged, accusing these soldiers of heinous crimes, a narrative the Nazis would later exploit. When the German forces swept into France in May 1940, this deeply ingrained propaganda fueled their animosity towards African soldiers. Despite facing significant resistance, the Germans suffered heavy losses, which only heightened their anger and resentment. In mid-June 1940, the Chasselay massacre reached its horrific climax. This was just 2 days after Marshal Philippe Pétain announced his intention to seek an armistice with Nazi Germany. The 25th Regiment of Senegalese Riflemen had been tasked with delaying the German advance into Lyon. Contrary to German expectations of an easy capture, they met fierce resistance, battling for hours before succumbing. After securing victory, the Germans separated French and African prisoners, leading the latter to a remote field where they were mercilessly gunned down. The aftermath was bleak. The bodies of the fallen Senegalese soldiers were initially left unburied. However, the residents of Chasselay, defying German orders, buried them in a mass grave. Jean-Baptiste Marchiani, a local official, later proposed a proper burial and a memorial. Despite initial resistance from the Vichy regime, which sought to downplay the massacre, the project was completed in 1942, resulting in the Tata, an enclosure resembling an African cemetery where 188 Senegalese riflemen are interred. The soldiers who survived faced a grim fate. While French soldiers were sent to German POW camps, African soldiers were detained in France to avoid so-called racial contamination. They endured harsh conditions in specific camps known as Fronstalags, where abuse was rampant. Many were forced into labor, working in logging, farming, or factories. Over time, the memory of these brave soldiers faded. The annual ceremonies held at the Tata in Chasselay did little to keep their memory alive, especially as many families separated by vast distances and lacking knowledge of their loved one's fate could not visit. Today, numerous graves of unknown soldiers remain, hinting at the many who are still unaccounted for. After the discovery of these photographs, a plan has been devised dedicated to identifying these soldiers, hoping to honor them with a plaque bearing their names. This effort underscores the importance of remembering and honoring the sacrifices of those who fought and died in the shadows of history. Please like this video, share it with a friend or group, and leave a comment with your thoughts on this. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss any of our historical stories lined up for posting soon.